So welcome to this episode of The Rumble. My guest today is somebody who's in some people call it exotic field. I would call it exotic field. But he's a filmmaker, a director, documentary maker. And it's in that role as a documentary maker that I've had him come on the show. So welcome to the show, Suresh.
Hello.
So I'll start off by saying your name is Suresh Menon. Okay, so now you are, I know you're a filmmaker, but documentary film seems to be the area that you really are interested in.
Yes, you're right.
So why does documentary filmmaking attract you so much?
Well, see, a documentary basically is portraying reality.
Okay.
So there is not much of fiction involved in it. I mean, in fact, there is no fiction at all.
Or you're dramatizing reality to make it interesting?
Well, that is docudrama.
Okay.
A documentary is something that portrays...
Documents something.
Yes, documents something, and
In
it is as it happens.
Okay,
as it happens,
form.
yes. Certain cases wherein you're not able, you reach this place of occurrence of something after the event has actually happened.
Okay.
So you
recreate it?
Yes, you recreate it and try to portray it in as real a form as possible. So that is a docudrama.
Okay. And it's vastly different from feature films, I would imagine.
No way related to feature films.
At all?
At all.
So those who specialize in this should preferably stay away from making feature films?
I wouldn't say that, but because documentary filmmakers can do plenty of research. They are exceptionally good at doing research, which dictates the success of a documentary.
Right.
And as you know, today's feature films, they don't do any research at all, especially in India. So
far removed from reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, documentary filmmakers with a little bit of training can be excellent feature filmmakers.
Okay, coming to the recent events, particularly with Nirbhaya case hitting the headlines now, and India's daughter, or whatever that documentary, it was made by this English lady. It seems to have touched a nerve with almost everybody in the country, either for or against it. Everybody has a strong opinion. What do you have to say about this thing? Was it a great product? Should it have been banned? Is the government right in doing it? Or should they be penalized and locked up for refusing to allow people to see that?
Well, first thing is, I should compliment BBC for having taken the step.
Okay.
And the director, the filmmaker, Leslie Udwin, who spent 2 years in India trying to capture the essence of all that transpired on December, that fateful night. But I'm surprised people have banned it. I mean, at least the government has banned it in India.
You know, and when we say government, we seem to have this amorphous idea of a vast body. We don't know where exactly it begins, where it ends, who's the top, who's the bottom, who are the arms. So this seems to be against whom? Who is the government when they say banned it? Is it the Home Ministry, the Home Minister, the Information Minister? Who is it?
Well, as of now, as far as this movie is concerned, I would bluntly say that Rajnath Singh has banned it, the Home Minister.
Okay, so
specifically, he is the person who stood up in Parliament announcing the ban on this movie.
So wasn't he stampeded into it? Wasn't he forced into doing something like that when vociferous shouting and yelling, screaming going on in Parliament? So just to back off everybody and just placate them, he might have said, okay, I will deal with it. Or did he come out and do it?
No, like I saw the episode on TV. Well, there were several people, including Jaya Bachchan, who opposed the ban. Okay, but he was vehemently supporting the ban.
Okay.
For reasons, well...
No, but did it initiate with him saying, I'm going to ban this picture, or was there a big hullabaloo and then he took aside one?
I'm not exactly aware of what transpired
earlier. I'm a
earlier.
little mystified. Why would he just come out and make a statement saying, I'm going to ban some random document?
Well, see, that's it. See, the reasons for the ban could be, like BBC had informed him that, presumably informed him that this is going to be released on the International Women's Day, which is today.
Yeah.
And so he didn't want it to be released.
Which begs the question, did he see it?
I don't think so.
So then I'm completely mystified as to why the ban origin actually happened. Who asked it to be banned?
Well, that's how things happen in our country.
Okay, let's imagine the Home Minister actually banned it.
Yes.
What do you think drove him to make such a...
Well, after having seen the movie, the film for more than a couple of times. I don't see any valid reason for it to be banned. On the other hand, I would actually insist to be to be shown to everyone in the country.
Yeah.
Okay, the possible reasons are, I could maybe make out 3 reasons.
Oh, okay.
One is, this is the first time that the name of the victim is being publicized, which is Jyoti Singh.
Yes.
So till today,
yeah, we have this law which says
it has been Nirbhaya and
victim's name should not be disclosed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that could be reason 1.
Or maybe that it was disclosed because normally it is held back so that nothing affects the career or life of that rape victim.
Possible.
And since she passed away,
yes,
they must have said
possible. But this could be reason 1.
Okay,
which is very flimsy.
All right.
Well, another place wherein we have a defense lawyer coming up with a statement saying that around approximately 250 cases of crime, which includes robbery, dacoity, murder and rape, are pending trial among the sitting parliamentarians.
Oh, they have been accused of these very same crimes?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you think to protect them that may be...
Quite possible. See, I'm looking at options. I'm looking at options, yes. So maybe it's not that we Indians don't know about it, but at this stage, maybe do the Indians need to be reminded of this again? That could be another reason.
Okay.
The third is, well, as we know, accountability. The establishment can pass laws, but they never wanted to be accountable.
Okay.
The moment we put them, we put them on the accountability bracket, they feel threatened.
Okay.
So this could be a reason too.
All right. So, Suresh has got in his mind 3 firm reasons, good reasons, why such a decision was taken or may have been taken. So, but that doesn't explain what all happened and about the documentary itself, which we'll talk about when we come back. I can understand, the political establishment not wanting something like this to be seen because my lord, the overall image of India and all these flimsy excuses they give as if we had some great image in any case. And also about these parliamentarians also being accused of all this. Okay. How do you explain a channel like Times Now and its chief anchor, Arnab Goswami, going so strongly against and almost blowing the top talking about it? What do you think upset him about it?
Well, Arnab Goswami, I don't think, Rumble needs to devote too much of time to him. He's a joker in a circus of his own. And I guess I leave it to him. Let him keep shouting. Maybe we can at the most dispatch a dozen lozenges to him.
Straighten his voice. But generally he is not given to this kind of, he's generally neutral, the way I see. Maybe he's got his own axe to grind or point to, to talk about. But generally I see a neutral. But this has driven him to take an extreme stance. So like that, do you think most of the other people are also taking a stance, not having fully thought it through? Or do you think it is deliberate, they know what it's all about and still decided to suppress it, knowing it's against the best interest of the nation?
See, we all know Arnab is not interested in the nation. He's interested in TRP ratings. Okay? So, it's quite possible that he wanted to telecast the movie himself.
Like we were talking about the Home Minister worried about the
Parliament. So, it's all selfish reasons.
Okay, self-interest.
We just leave that alone.
Take that, that's okay. Why do you think the rest of the media didn't fight, or they have been fighting?
I don't think so. The rest of the media are all standing up in unison.
Saying that it should be shown.
It should be shown. It's not just the media, it's all, perhaps all institutions throughout the country are standing up in one voice.
And particularly women.
Exactly.
And women, if they constitute 50% of our population, and here's somebody banning something in spite of women coming and demanding that it should be shown, is again reinforcing all these old stereotypes, that women should stay at home, should be, who wants to listen to them, they don't matter, and so they're continuing the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm surprised actually, even in the documentary, we have one of the defense lawyers actually saying something to that effect, that women are meant to be staying at home, or they should not be coming out of the house after 6:30 p.m. in the evening. I don't know, I would sincerely say that Henceforth, people getting into the law course should actually go through a psychoanalysis test to determine if they are actually
Fit to be
a lawyer. Just imagine this lawyer, this defense lawyer, he goes up in his life and becomes the Chief Justice of India.
And he holds such views about women.
Exactly. Another part is, I would equate to him to the rapist himself, the Mukesh, that bus driver of the vehicle, who was interviewed extensively in the documentary.
In fact, the whole narrative is around him.
Yes, it is around him. He actually says that women should not come out of their homes.
He even says that I raped her, or I got involved in this whole thing just to teach her a lesson, and I had no intention of killing her, but I just wanted to tell her, hey, listen, don't wander around at night with your boyfriend.
Exactly.
This is not the way to go about doing things, as if he is a great teacher.
Exactly. So I would actually equate like the defense lawyer and they
have the same mindset.
They have the same mindset.
Yeah.
In fact, the film actually also attempts to say that almost all men have the same mindset.
Yes.
But I would interpret it as, yes, all men in that particular segment of lifestyle. You see, I mean, I know that you've seen the movie too.
Yes.
So this film, you can see that all these rapists, they had come from a slum.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. They were deprived of education. They were deprived of the basic necessities of life.
Yes. Especially when they described the childhood of some of them had a very troubled childhood.
Yes.
So then they say that they might have developed their propensity towards violence because of the way they were brought up.
Yes.
So that's one of the things that the thing brings out. But then so many people have started out their lives in very poor conditions, not having a family to look after you, but still have resisted the urge to go out and kill and rape.
Yes. So that way this movie is actually a revelation.
Yes.
It is a revelation.
Yeah. And if I talk about the technical aspects of the documentary itself, what did you think of the production? Was it flowing? Was it lucid? Did it cut back and forth? Were people getting lost in the narrative, or was it constantly driving towards a single point?
Yes, there was a little bit of to and fro movement. Yes, but I guess that's a style. I mean, having been used to documentary filmmaking, it's a specific style that which has been followed in the movie.
Okay.
So I find it very good, excellent.
And the subtitling was spot on.
Subtitling, well, there were a few errors here and there.
But generally the meaning
But that is because maybe I know Hindi and I know English also. So
it didn't translate exactly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. The general meaning does convey. It is conveyed.
Okay. And the policeman who was in the documentary, I think it was
his name is Rajkumar, if I'm not mistaken.
Some chief of thing. He came out as quite a sensible man, wasn't he? I thought he didn't come out saying any outrageous things. In fact, he seemed to be. What did you think about him?
Well,
because all of them are under investigation.
He is straightforward, no doubt about it. But one aspect is that he did mention that Delhi is one of the safest places to live in.
Ah, yes.
Okay. But he had to toe the official line, no doubt about it. But it's very well known that today Delhi is known as the rape capital of the world, not just rape capital of India.
Yeah, but do you think that's true?
Again, I don't think so, because that is a propaganda put in by the other countries. Because looking at the volume of rapes per 10,000 people or per million people, we India overall stands somewhere on the 20th, the listing. It is topped by Sweden, and US is somewhere on the 4th or 5th, and UK is also there. So that apart, we don't get into this because even one woman raped is a woman raped. Yeah. So we just stayed in that. So
according to Suresh, there have been narratives. There have been instances in the film which didn't quite gel correctly, but that's a professional's point of view. That's nothing to do with the value of the story. When we come back in the last segment, we'll find out what do you think the people of India will do after having watched this? Will they sit quietly back at home and forget it, or just start going out and taking more action? You know, recently in the paper there was, I think it was a couple of days ago, there was some news item about some Muslim clergyman, I don't know from where, who has filed a case saying that some judges stopped the marriage of a underage Muslim girl from getting married. There was a news item, and that it should be allowed because as per their customs it's fine. So when you have marriages being allowed for underage people and people just trying to justify that even young people should be allowed to be married, why are they still holding this thing about juveniles and not crime committed by them or their children? But getting married is okay. What is the logic in that?
We live in a country wherein I remember having read a news item sometime back wherein even a politician's daughter, an underage daughter, was married off. And this marriage was legalized.
Okay. So
if
when
that is the case,
correct.
I don't see any reason why this juvenile is going to be freed this December.
And
this
he's done
December
some
2015.
extremely horrible things that guy has done.
Exactly.
Unimaginably
Exactly.
wicked things.
And Mukesh, as the driver in the bus, he specifically mentions that the juvenile was the first to do the girl at
And
the
he
back.
did the worst of the things.
Yes, and he is the person who pulled up the intestines and
Unbelievable.
threw it out of the window.
And he's going to come out free in December.
In December, and he's going to walk among us.
And that's too much to even think about.
Yeah, and we Indians, I mean, we cannot leave him alone that way. We're not supposed to leave.
Also,
him
there was
that
a case, I think a couple of days ago, when somebody who's a rapist in Dimapur or somewhere in Nagaland,
Yes.
the crowds went into a jail, took this guy out and beat him to death on the road.
You can expect, I guess, the same
So
thing.
this kind of behavior will actually result in more and more people taking the law into their own hand because the law doesn't seem to be able to tackle.
Yes. Well, this rape brought in, see, there was no M.K. Gandhi, there was no Subhash Chandra Bose.
Yeah.
Every person thought that it was my right to get onto the streets when Jyoti
It
was
aroused
raped.
everybody's.
Yes. And the government, the establishment used all the force at its disposal except firing directly at the mob.
No, but that firing, I think, was not to prevent them from protesting, but as to prevent unlawful assembly in a public place.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Now, what is this unlawful assembly?
They were marching towards parliament or
They have the right. They have the right. We're the people. The people's power. It's a democracy.
I know,
There's no point in just mentioning that we are a democratic country, world's largest democracy.
No, but that's what they did in France in 1789. They marched up in Versailles and took the king out and chopped his head off. No, we don't want that to happen.
We don't want that to
happen.
happen.
I think that to that extent, maybe the police only trying to control these people who march into any place they like,
Yes.
and maybe they overdid the thing.
Maybe,
But suppose you were the home minister, what would you do?
That's a nice question. Well, if I was the home minister, if I was Rajnath Singh, I would call up BBC.
Yeah.
BBC, Mr. BBC, thank you for the information that you're going to telecast this on the International Women's Day. But because I gave you the permission to shoot, my government gave you the permission to shoot this, I would request 1 million CDs from you of this documentary to be delivered to me within the next 24 hours, 48 hours.
Okay. You mean like DVDs, copies?
DVDs, yes.
Okay.
What is it for? Maybe they would question me. I want to distribute it free of cost to all the colleges and schools in the country.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, maybe 1 hour before you telecast it on BBC, I would like my national channel and perhaps all the private channels in my country to telecast this documentary because the whole thing happened in India. I want Indians to
For the widest dissemination.
Yes, and I want the Indians to be aware of the truth, what happened on that fateful day.
These are two things that you would have...
I would have done immediately.
Okay. So you're firmly of the opinion that hiding behind it and banning it and all that is totally the wrong way to go about this particular incident?
Well, if I need to use a word, I would say it's cowardice.
Well, what did they stand to gain by trying to prevent the public from seeing this? I'm unable to understand what is the rationale behind it, because everything they should be...
They don't stand to gain anything, but they stand to lose. They stand to lose.
200 parliamentarians will be that one line. Is that it?
Just imagine if 250 parliamentarians are arrested overnight in our country. I mean, what would happen? I mean, it's left to anyone's imagination. And this I'm talking only about the parliament. We haven't gone into the legislative assemblies.
Oh yeah, there are many more thousands there.
Yeah.
So that, you think, was enough to stampede the government into...
Yeah, it was basically, it was not...
It was knee-jerk, you're trying to protect yourself.
Yes.
But the government would have come off better by actually saying, all right, yeah, all these people need to be forced out. It's like.
See, one thing I'll tell you, the government, which the people may not be aware of, in 12 months after this incident, on that fateful night, 18,000 people have been released by the Indian court from the jails. 18,000 rapists. They were released.
Where did you get this number from?
It's from the internet. It's available on the internet.
Oh, yeah, but internet need not be true.
No, okay, I'm quoting the internet. Well, 18,000 people were released, and it's not just in one place.
So maybe that's not a miscarriage of justice. Maybe that's arriving at the right decision. Maybe they had no evidence against them. You know how in India, policemen...
Due to insufficient evidence. Yes, I agree. It is due to insufficient evidence.
Insufficient evidence, I understand that it could be the rapist.
But do you want to degrade our Indian policemen that 18,000 people have been wrongly arrested? I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe 10%
so why do you think
18,000
18,000 were released? Within
it's possible they had some pressure not to investigate, or then there are rules that certain investigations should be carried in within 90 days, within 120 days. I don't know the rules and regulations, the precise numbers.
Okay.
And maybe it was intentionally delayed so that this person can go out, walk out scot-free.
And one interesting thing also which I watched in the documentary was I think the voiceover somewhere saying that such a public outpouring has not been seen anywhere in the world.
Yes.
I mean, normally, like you say, they want to topple the government. There's something happening in Egypt. The spring, what spring was that? Whatever that word was. All that was there. People come out for all those things. But to come out because of a rape that happened in one night of a girl whose name they were always told was Nirbhaya, and that was not even her name. Her real name was Jyoti Singh. To come out in her support in the thousands on the street, and probably in every other city in India also. That was a very moving thing, and I thought that shows that we Indians still have some good values.
Of course, yes, Indians do have good values.
No, we generally say, oh, Indians.
Yeah, no, Indians do have good values, but see, the intention of then was not to topple the government.
Yeah.
It was the main intention was to bring the culprits to book and enact laws that would make punishment a certainty. It is not that hanging, it's not that every rapist should be hanged to death.
Punishment should be there.
Yeah, the punishment, it should be a certainty. So today we know of cases, instances wherein even for 10 years, there's no punishment. We've seen people who have made money, the politicians who have made money even in coffins. And there was no punishment meted out to them. Now this is what we Indians are learning.
Okay. So all in all, it's been a earth-shaking event for us in India. Do you think this would have gone across the world now this documentary has been seen on BBC? Do you think it would have awakened other people around the world?
It may have, but what matters to me is that people in India should wake up to the reality. And I hear that someone called me from home saying that NDTV is indeed trying to telecast the documentary tonight at 9 p.m. But I don't know if the ban has been waived.
I guess once it's been seen and freely available over the net, you can't stop the people from seeing it. Now it doesn't make any sense to keep holding on to that ban. So maybe voluntarily the government has withdrawn. Though I don't know whether they've actually done it.
Yeah.
So Suresh, it's been nice talking to you on that because I want to see the viewpoint from a documentary maker, part like a purely technical thing to ask you, how was the documentary? And you felt it was well done, it pushed the point forward, and it was sensitively done. It didn't degrade the victim. In fact, like even the parents of the girl, their sorrow was, I think, plainly visible. Without saying too much.
Definitely. Yeah, I would actually love to sit and talk more about the documentary, about the more details about the documentary. But actually, since it's banned in the country, not that I'm scared of the ban because it's all freely available anywhere on the internet. You can just Google But I would like it to be released in India so that I don't spoil the suspense.
And let everybody also have the experience.
Yes, the experience.
First-hand.
So that's it. I don't want to take away anything from.
So we'll let
Leslie.
the people come to their own conclusions after
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. And I would dedicate this today being the International Women's Day. there's no point in dedicating it posthumously to Jyoti.
Yeah.
Rather, I would dedicate it to the filmmaker Leslie.
Okay, so thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.